I'm not the most disciplined person and I procrastinate more than I would like to admit, but I've been testing a few different ways to stop myself from procrastinating, and because of that, I've been able to do a lot of things that I've been telling myself I was going to do for years, like starting this channel and starting my own business, for example. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the few simple shifts that I use to stop myself from procrastinating whenever I'm in that situation where I don't want to do the things that I need to be doing. The first thing that you need to understand is that procrastination is about not doing the thing that you should be doing. So let's say in this scenario, there are two options. There's the thing that you should be doing and the thing that you'd rather be doing. Let's say the thing that you should be doing is studying for a test on Friday, while the thing that you'd rather be doing is watching Netflix, for example. And the fact that studying for a test on Friday creates the most resistance and watching Netflix creates the least amount of resistance, you'd rather do the thing that has the least amount of resistance compared to the thing that you have to force yourself to do. And the reason why this happens is because of something called working memory. And this means your mind can only hold a certain number of conflicts in its memory. The conflict in question is the thing that you should be doing compared to the thing that you'd rather be doing. And in most cases, it's not only these two things that you're thinking about. So for the things that you should be doing, there's not only studying for the test on Friday, but maybe you also have to do the dishes or clean your room or do the laundry. And for the things that you'd rather be doing, there's also stuff like playing games or scrolling on social media. So you might not even end up watching Netflix like I said in the first scenario, but you might decide to procrastinate with something else. You might choose to not do either of them and decide to scroll on social media instead. So now that we understand that procrastination happens because the thing that we should be doing creates the most resistance, now the question comes in, what should you do about it? And the first thing that I do whenever I realize I'm procrastinating is use something called the doorway effect. And you're probably familiar with this. So let's say there's something you're supposed to grab in a different room than you are in. Let's say it's your keys, for example, and you walk into that room and you grab your shoes and then you forget that you're supposed to grab your keys as well. You start to wonder why you even walked into the room in the first place, and then you walk out of the room and then after some time you realize like, oh, I was supposed to get my keys. So you go back to that room and get the keys and then go back down. So that's similar to what I'm talking about right now. The fact that you have a lot of conflicts in your mind, things that you should be doing and the things that you'd rather be doing instead of the things you should be doing, you can change the surrounding that you're in to simply reset your mind, to simply make yourself stop thinking about the different conflicts that you have in your mind. Because usually when you're procrastinating, even if you're not doing the thing that you should be doing, you're still sort of thinking about the thing that you should be doing, and you probably aren't even enjoying the thing that you're doing instead because you know there's something that you should be doing. So the first thing that I do is to use the doorway effect. I walk through a couple of doors, I walk outside, or I walk into the bathroom, I wash my face and simply reset my mind so that I'm not constantly thinking of the thing that I should be doing and why am I doing this instead. And then the next thing that I do is to get clear on what it is that I have to do, because usually when there's something that we have to do, we think of the complete task. You think about you needing to study for a test on Friday, like the example that we used earlier. You don't necessarily think about how many pages you should read or how many topics you should go through or which topic should come first and which topic should go last. What exactly is it that you are more comfortable with in relation to the test that you're going to write? You haven't had a clear picture of what it is that you have to do. So the fact that the task itself seems too daunting, you decide not to do it instead and do something that you're familiar with, something that doesn't take a lot of effort for you to do. So get clear on what it is exactly that you have to do and only focus on the things that you can do. Don't focus on what you should be doing, focus on what you can do. The fact that the thing that you should be doing has the most amount of resistance, it also has the most increased chances of failure, whereas the thing that you'd rather be doing has the least amount of failure attached to it. So instead of focusing on what you should be doing, focus on exactly what it is you can do. So if you can't study for the whole test on Friday, decide to do a few topics instead. And the trick here isn't to do the easiest thing possible, because how the mind works is that it weighs its options. Usually people tell you to just get started and just do the smallest step towards whatever it is that you're supposed to do. And whenever I tell people that, they don't do the thing, because the mind calculates the benefit of doing something. So if you tell yourself you're just going to open the book and read one line of the sentence, you're going to start wondering why you should read one line of the textbook if your test is on Friday. How is reading one line of the textbook going to make you pass the exam? But if you read two topics topics of the subject, you have way more chances of you getting more questions right in your test in comparison to reading one line of that textbook. And the thing that you need to understand is that it takes the same amount of effort for you to read one line of the textbook or one paragraph in comparison to you reading two topics of the subject. So you'd rather do the thing that's closest to the thing that you should be doing rather than just doing the smallest step possible. So whenever you're met with a situation where you are trying to be clear about what it is you have to do, don't tell yourself that you're just going to take the easiest step, because you're going to start wondering why take the step in the first place if it's not going to solve the problem. Why not do more so that you're closer to the solution? So the whole idea is to do the thing that is closest to the thing that you should be doing. The fact that you can't do the thing itself because it creates the most resistance and you're trying to move away from the thing that creates the least resistance, you should try to close the gap in between. Don't take the easiest step. Try to take the step right before what it is you have to be doing. If you can't study the whole subject, do at least half what's going to come in the test. If you can't do half of what's going to come in the test, do quarter. If you can't do quarter, do a few pages. If you can't do a few pages, read one page. The idea here is to close the gap in between what it is you should be doing in comparison to what it is you shouldn't be doing. So the fact that this creates the most resistance, drop it. Like, just don't think about it. Focus on what it is you can do so that you don't waste so much time thinking of what you should be doing, and in the end up not doing anything at all. And then the last thing that you should consider is that sometimes we procrastinate because we don't know what we need to do in order to complete a task. Something is hard if you don't know what to do, and then something is easy if you know all the steps required to do it. Let's say someone asks you to solve a Rubik's Cube for the first time. It's obviously going to be difficult for you because you have no idea what it is you have to do. But if you look up a tutorial online and you figure out how to do it the first time, and you do it the second time and the third time and the fourth time, by the time you're doing it 5 times, it's probably going to be way easier for you to do it in comparison to the first time that you did it. So you're probably procrastinating on the thing because you have no idea what's required of you to do the thing that you have to do. And the fact that you don't know, that only shows you have a lack of confidence in doing the thing that you have to do. So sometimes people don't go to the gym, or they don't study, or they don't start a business simply because they don't know what is required for them to do those things. So break the task down and try to figure out what is required of you to do the thing that you need to do. So make a mental note for yourself. Get more familiar with the things that you keep procrastinating on. Chances are you probably don't know what's required to do that thing, and that's why you're not doing that thing. But when you get more familiar with it, you are less likely to procrastinate. And if you still feel that resistance to procrastinate towards it, choose the next best thing. Don't choose the easiest step, because your mind is going to weigh the options of you doing the thing in comparison to you not doing the thing in the first place. If it doesn't solve the problem at all, or if it doesn't solve half of the problem, you're probably not going to do it at all. So those are the 4 things that I do to stop procrastinating. And just to recap on it, there's the doorway effect, where I walk through a couple of doors to clear my mind and stop the tension in my mind between what I should be doing and what I would rather be doing. And then the next thing is to get clear on what I have to be doing, and then focus on the things that I can do, not on the thing that I should be doing, but what I can do, and not the easiest thing, because I obviously want to solve the problem and not just do something. I want to get as closest to solving the problem as I can get. And then the last thing that I do is to figure out what is required for me to do the thing, and get more and more familiar with the thing that I don't know how to do. So I hope that helped, and I hope whenever you find yourself in a situation where you keep procrastinating, you use these tips to get yourself out of that repetitive cycle.